Hey everybody, how's it going? Stabman coming right back at you, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some pickups that I made over the past few weeks. In fact, it's just been slow going for me when it comes to pickups because, well, I've been saving my money for other things, and also there really haven't been that many amazing, mind-blowing deals happening. It's been very picky, choosy as of late. And I'm also in that mode where it's like, there's not really much out there right now that I feel like I desperately need. I mean, I've gotten through, I would have to say like 90%, if not 95% of my wish list stuff, you know what I mean? I own almost everything that I really wanted to own when I started collecting years ago, you know what I mean? All the things, even as they accumulated onto my list that I wanted, I have almost all of them. There are still a few things here and there that I haven't picked up, but it's like, it is officially the kind of stuff that just literally never goes on sale, probably never will. I'm probably just going to have to bite the bullet at some point, but I'm too cheap to do that right now, so I haven't. Especially because every single time I do end up biting the bullet, without fail, every single time, the week after I do that, the price drops to like nothing and stays there forever. And it's like, I could have gotten that deal if I had waited a week. Then when I don't do that, it goes out of stock forever, and then the price of it just skyrockets to unbelievable prices. So anyways, I have found a few things to add to my collection in the past few weeks from places like Mercari and eBay and Amazon. I even got one thing from my sister-in-law who decided to give me something that she found at the dollar store. So I guess I did take place in that dollar store sale, dollar store Blu-ray sale that happened recently. But for the most part, it was just stuff that I got off of Amazon and eBay and Mercari. So let's start off by showing you the one DVD I picked up, and that would be from Amazon, a used copy of Rewind This. This is a fan-freaking-tastic documentary about VHS collecting. It's literally just a movie about VHS collectors in the modern era, right? Which kind of strikes a chord with me, not necessarily because I am a VHS collector, but because I am a collector of physical media. And as much as this movie is about VHS collectors, it's also, just especially in general, about collectors of physical media, which is, you know, a lot of people say is becoming a dying art form, or it's not an art form, but a dying form of media, right? But if you were to see the kind of people like this, like us, who collect this stuff, and what the kind of stuff that we do, and the reasons that we collect these items, then you'd understand that there is a market out there for it. That's what I love about this movie. It really highlights that market and says, hey, by the way, this market actually does exist. We are out there, and we are buying these things, and we are collecting them, and we are passionate about it, you know what I mean? So really cool stuff here. And I think my favorite part about it, you know, it's a movie about VHS collecting. You gotta have that 7-day DVD rental thing at the bottom. But you know, that's not actually a part of this. I don't think so, at least. I think that the original version of this did not have like the rental copy thing at the bottom here. I think this is a legit rental copy that just so happens to have this 7-day DVD thing at the bottom, which I wouldn't have gotten unless I got it secondhand on Amazon. And that's also how I managed to get it for such a good deal. It was like $8 to $10, something like that. Usually this goes for at least $12 to $15, I would say, and I got a tremendous deal on it. So very, very happy about that, and actually kind of stoked that it was an ex-rental that has one of these little things here, because it's just perfect for what the particular documentary and movie is about. So yeah, it just fits perfectly. So I'm very happy about that. Very cool stuff. Glad to have this in my collection. Been wanting it ever since I saw it through digital means. I think I saw it on Amazon Prime Instant Video. I don't know if it's still there, but if it is, then definitely go check that out because it's really good. So yeah, very happy to have this in my collection. There's another one like this that I have on my wish list that I have yet to pick up, but I'm definitely interested. I haven't seen it yet, and I definitely want to. So yeah, I have seen this one. I do like this one. Very good, very recommended. Check it out. Next up, I found a really good deal on Mercari. For only $5, I found Fences. It's a somewhat newer movie, actually, with Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. This, I believe, is based, actually, on a play. It either is a play, or it's based on a play, or it's, you know, trying to emulate what a play is like. Whatever the case may be, it's very play-like, you know? I mean, I guess what I would compare it to is something like, well, I guess what I would compare it to is something like Death of a Salesman. In fact, this is very much like Death of a Salesman. And if you like that story at all, then you're probably going to like this one as well. There are elements of it that feel very familiar as something you would see in a play, or, you know, or that you would read in a play script, as it were. But regardless, it's just really a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I feel like they did a really good job of telling a story that, well, quite frankly, needs to be told and isn't always told. Like, sometimes they just don't go far enough in telling this particular story and giving people the opportunity to hear what life is like and see what life is like from a different point of view in this country. And this, I believe, is set in the 1950s, thereabouts. And it's, well, it's all about, like, the older generation telling the younger generation you gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and, you know, getting upset that the younger generation keeps asking for money from the older generation. Gee, does that sound familiar to you, to anybody? Maybe it's because it's exactly what's going on right now in our actual world. I guess you could say it's prescient, you know? Whatever the case, it's a very good movie, and I really enjoyed it quite a lot. So I was very happy to be able to get it for only $5 freaking dollars. Such a good movie. Actually, here, there you go. Expanding the audience from stage to screen. So yes, it's based on a play. There you go. And they did a good job of that, I would say. They expanded the audience by making it into a movie, and the movie was really good. So, yeah, really good deal on that as well. Didn't this, like, either almost win an award or did actually win an award? I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I do remember seeing it nominated, I think, for an award. So, yes, very good stuff, and I'm glad to have gotten it for the price that I did. I mean, that's just a fantastic deal. Speaking of fantastic deals, I found this one on Amazon. I think it was a price match to Best Buy, and that would be the Night at the Museum collection. This has all 3 Night at the Museum movies, and it was only $8. That's less than $3 per title. I think it's, what, $2.66 per title? Like, holy cow. That's a really good deal for all 3 Night at the Museum movies. And the thing about that is, I've only ever seen the first. Now, I knew that from seeing the first that I would probably enjoy the others, but I was already fatigued after the first. I was already just like, you know what, I get it. It's a family flick. I see what they're trying to do with it, but I'm just not interested right now. You know what I mean? It struck me as a 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10. Nothing to write home about, nothing that I was, like, excited to go out and see the next movie in the series or whatever, you know what I mean? But there were actors in it and premises in the story that made me want to see more of it, so I was definitely intrigued enough to eventually get around to seeing it again, or to seeing the sequels, but then I never actually got around to seeing those sequels. And well, some of those sequels starred the late, great Robin Williams, so that's another big reason that I wanted to go back and check out some of the sequels here. And hey, $8 to get all 3 movies. The only one I've ever seen and liked was the first one. So you throw 2 in there for, well, a pretty low price, and I'm sold. Sold, sold, sold. It's hard to beat a price like that, man. It's hard to beat a price like that. I mean, say what you will about these movies. They might not be very good for all I know. I know the first one wasn't necessarily great, but for that price, I'm not going to say no. Next up, I can't remember if I talked about this in another video, but I don't think I did, so I'm going to mention it right now. From eBay, I decided to pick up Wreck-It Ralph here on Blu-ray. This is, I believe, the original release of it, or at least one of the original releases of it. I believe it's going to either has already gotten or is going to get another release on Blu-ray and perhaps even 4K at some point in the near future to go along with the movie that's coming out, I think, later this year. It's a sequel to this movie. But yeah, it came with the slipcover. There's like a little crease in the back of the slipcover, but whatever. This was like under $10. I believe it was like $8 or $9, something like that. Anytime you can get a Disney movie for less than $10 with a slipcover, doesn't really matter, at least not to me, if it's in the best possible condition, the slipcover at least. What matters to me is that the movie's in good condition, and of course it was. And as a matter of fact, the digital copy code in it for like Disney Movie Rewards was still good. So very, very happy with that. Very glad to have gotten such a good deal on this one as well. And I've been wanting to watch this one again recently as well. Not just because the new movie is coming out, but because it's been a while. I wanted to revisit Wreck-It Ralph, and hey, no better time than the present, and hey, no better deal. I mean, holy cow. This is not one of the ones that really held its value too terribly well, but it still did have, until recently, hold its value to the point where, like, you couldn't find it for less than maybe, I would say, 12. 12 was the going rate until recently. And then it wasn't until just like the last few weeks, I feel like, that it dropped down to more like $8 to $10. I don't know why, but I'll take it because like I've been wanting this one, and that's my price point for Disney. If it's less than $10 and it's a really good title and it's one I've been wanting, then $8 to $10, that's totally my price range for a Disney title like this. So yeah, very cool stuff. Glad to have gotten it. Happy that it is now in my collection. I'm running out of Disney titles to pick up, y'all. Speaking of which, I don't think this is a Disney title, but it's Touchstone, so it was like the physical copy here was produced by Disney, essentially. But I think this one was also around like $5. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but I know that it was under $7, because I would not have paid more than that for this. I like it, but not that much, you know what I mean? So I decided to get The Help here on Blu-ray. This is one I did want in my collection. I really enjoyed this movie. Hey, Viola Davis again. I mean, holy cow. I guess, like, this is the update of Viola Davis. We got Viola Davis in Fences and Viola Davis in The Help. Holy cow. I didn't even notice that, but yes. This is a very good movie. There's nothing wrong with it per se. It's just one of those movies that's like, it's a drama film. And it's about real things that actually happened that were pretty disturbing at times. And upsetting. Racist crap that happened, you know what I mean? So, it's not necessarily one that's easy to watch. And because it's not easy to watch, it's not one you're necessarily going to watch a whole lot of, you know what I mean? It's not one you're going to watch, like, every other week or even every other month or even every other year. This is one that until recently, after I first saw it, like right after it came out, I didn't want to see it. And again, until recently. And I would say until like maybe a year or two ago when I started thinking, you know, I want to revisit that one. So now that I've been able to find it for such a good price, it had to have been like $5 or $6, something like that. And it came with the slipcover. You can't go wrong there. Disc is in really good condition. It's practically like new, honestly. So, very cool stuff. Glad to have gotten this one. And there, even though it's a dramatic and kind of sometimes sad story at times, there's some pretty funny moments in that movie as well. Next up, I managed to snag this one, but it took, I would say, over a month to actually get here, to the point where I almost forgot that I had ordered it. And that would be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the 2005? I think it's a 2005 film. 2012? Is it? No, that's when the Blu-ray came out. I think it's 2005. Whatever the case may be, it came out like in the mid-2000s, thereabouts. And it's the, I would say truncated, the truncated story of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And it's very different in some ways and very true to the story in others. There were elements of this that I really enjoyed, but I was never really like 100% sold on it when I saw the movie for the first time. So, you know, it took until, again, recently that I just realized, you know, I do kind of want that movie. I do like that movie. I like certain moments in it I find very funny. It's Douglas Adams, so, like, the premise of the entire story is based on one of the most well-written, witty novels ever produced. With all that in mind, I just had to say, yeah, I'll go ahead and pick this one up. Especially because it went down to a really good price. I've not been able to find this one for a very good price for a long time. And when I saw it finally for $6.99 on Amazon, which I believe was a price match of Best Buy, I had to pick it up. Unfortunately, as tends to be the case, by the time I was able to see that it had dropped to $6.99, it was out of stock. Which is why I had to wait a month and a half or something like that for Amazon to finally get it back in stock and send it out to me. But I wanted it enough that I was like, especially for that price, that I was like, you know what, I'll wait however long it takes. Just so happens that in this case, like with Capote, it took a long frickin' time. And that appears to be something that's going to become like par for the course with Amazon and Blu-rays and physical media in general. If it goes out of stock and they're getting it back in stock, it's not going to be like it was before in the old days when something went out of stock and it would only take them 1, maybe 2 weeks to get it back in stock and send it out to you. Now it can take months. They don't give a shit about us anymore, about collectors of Blu-rays. I can't really blame them either because we're a very niche market. Back then it made business sense for them to devote that much time and effort to collectors like us. But it no longer really makes business sense to them because there aren't enough of us out there. There's enough of us to keep the format going. There's enough of us that Blu-ray is still a thing, that physical media is still a thing, and that it's a big enough market that there are all these different, you know, labels out there like Olive, like Arrow and Criterion and Shout Factory and all that serve our niche market in particular. There wouldn't be companies built around that market if the market wasn't big enough to sustain those companies, you know what I mean? So it's not like I'm saying, oh, the market's not big enough, there's not enough people buying it. No, it's just that for a company as big as Amazon, they can't devote as much resources to that as they used to. So I understand. I don't like it, but I understand why it takes like a month now for them to get these things back in stock, and sometimes you just got to do it, because if it's a really good price like that, it's like, well, what are the chances, especially on something like this, that you're ever going to see it again? Not very good. So went ahead and bit the bullet, and glad I did. And the advantage of that is that when you do receive it, sometimes you've forgotten all about it, and it's like a nice surprise. Oh yeah, I ordered that. So yeah, very cool stuff. Glad to have gotten this one for such a good price. Last but not least today is the title that my sister-in-law got for me for $1 from the Dollar Tree, and that would be none other than Jason Statham in Blitz. I believe I watched this with Skin Slip. I can't remember if I did, but he usually comes to me every now and then and he's like, listen, I need to watch a Jason Statham movie. I don't care what kind. It just has to be a Jason Statham movie. because they're all basically the same thing. It's the same action movie over and over and over and over and over again. Well, maybe not exactly the same, but they feel very, very similar, don't they? I mean, come on. But the thing about them is that even though they all feel like the same damn movie over and over and over again, and it's the same old tropes and all that stuff, Jason Statham somehow manages to make these movies still fun to watch. I mean, there's a reason that he's such a big name in the action genre. He's so good in that role. And you know what role I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Statham role. The role where he likes to make, as we call it, as me and Skinslim call it, a statement. Very cool stuff. I think I've seen this one, but I don't remember exactly. The most memorable Jason Statham movie that I can think of, besides the Crank movies, which are freaking fantastic, I can't even remember the name of it. That's how memorable it is. But no, it's a movie where I think he was working with like a nun, and he was trying to like save her or protect her or something like that. And it was it was a pretty interesting story compared to other Jason Statham movies. This may in fact be that movie. I don't think it is, but if it is, that's cool because I really like that one. But if it's not, well, it's a Jason Statham movie. It only cost $1. That's not too bad. And I technically got it for free because she just, handed it to me, gave it to me because it was $1. So, yeah, very cool of her. Thank you to my sister-in-law. Thank you very much. Very cool stuff. Sometimes you just want to watch a Jason Statham movie, and now I have one. I also have the Crank movies, though, so if I wanted to watch a Jason Statham movie, I'd probably turn to those first. Those movies are hilarious. But anyways, that will do it for today. Pretty good haul here. Not a whole lot of stuff, as I mentioned to start with, but, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 things. Not too bad. Not a whole lot, not like a huge, incredible haul, but pretty good stuff, I think. At least some fun stuff in there, and then some more poignant stuff there, like the Viola Davis section right there, Fences and The Help. And then you got The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that's a ton of fun. Night at the Museum, 1 through 3, that's a pretty good deal there. Wreck-It Ralph, can't go wrong. Rewind This, a movie all about us collectors, and then a statement. So yeah, anyways, that will do it for me today. Thanks for watching it, guys. Catch you later. Peace.